and one of the biggest supporters I know out there for the president. She's a nationally recognized legal analyst and author of the book Trump Must Win, has some ideas on this. Teisha Powell joins us right now. Teisha, how crazy is this? With everything going on in the world, they're focusing on how he was taking baby steps down an incline at the West Point graduation. Crazy.
This was crazy, John. I mean, it's just common sense. Don't they want the president to walk slowly so he doesn't fall? And what I noticed with the liberal media, how Twitter light up about the president not being in good health. Nobody's saying anything about Joe Biden being 77 years old, Joe Biden is probably a crazy old man. And nobody's saying anything about Joe Biden's age or his health. I mean, this is just not a fair system. We have two people over 70 years old running for office, and they're probably both in good health, and they're picking on one but not the other. This isn't right.
Teisha, we could do that whataboutism all day. The critics of the president, you could always say, oh, well, you never criticize that person or this person. But look, the president did just turn 74 years old on Sunday. Happy birthday, Mr. President. He will be, when if he's elected and if he's reelected and inaugurated, he'll be the oldest president of all time. Isn't it fair, just as you might ask questions of Joe Biden's health, shouldn't all Americans be concerned that whichever of these guys is elected will be our oldest president of all time? Shouldn't we want to make sure that they're healthy?
They are healthy, both of them, especially President Trump. 70s are the new 60s. We have nothing to worry about. This story should be killed. There is nothing wrong with President Trump's health, and we need the liberal media to just back off. Maybe they should go find where Joe Biden is and let us know about his health. Because as far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden is a crazy old man running for office.
All right, Teisha, let me ask you, speaking of the liberal media, let me ask you about the patron saint of the liberal media, the New York Times. Front page above the fold, landmark ruling protects LGBT workers. Very interesting case the Supreme Court revealed yesterday in a 6-3 decision with Justice Roberts, Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Gorsuch siding with the majority, the liberals on the court, and Justice Gorsuch going so far as to write the opinion. Now you can't be fired for being gay or transgendered. Is this good news or bad news?
This is good news. I mean, even though lesbians and gays, they are living in sin, God created them. They have a lot of talent, and they should be protected under Title VII. Gays and lesbians should be able to sue if there is discrimination under Title VII. So it is good news. And I just want to remind conservative people that we're all living in sin. So we're not going to pick on one group and leave out another. Gays and lesbians deserve to have a job. We should not discriminate against them based upon their preference. However, you still should pray for them, pray for everyone, because we're all living in sin, and that's what God called us to do, to pray for everyone.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with your initial premise that gay and lesbian people are living in sin. I mean, that may be up for grabs because God loves all His people, regardless of what sexual choices they make in life. But I think it is a great decision, me personally, Teisha, because it's just, as much as the left wants to tell you, Trump packed the court, Trump did this, Trump did that, he did put his choices in there, and it shows that the people that he put in there are sound, objective people. And I think most of America would agree that your boss shouldn't be able to come in and say, oh, you're gay, you're fired.
Yeah, that's kind of silly, especially people with talent. I mean, we got to get over this, especially Christians. I know we're going to get a lot of letters today, or we're going to get a lot of Twitter blowing up about us talking about this. But it's time that Christians stop picking on one group. We're all created equal under the eyes of God, and we're all created equal under the law. So, yes, this is the right thing for lesbian and gays. They do need to be protected just as anyone else is. And yes, John, they're still living in sin, whether we want to agree with it or not.
Oh, wow. She's going back for more. Right. She wants another bite at that apple. She's not going to let me get off easy.
Teisha, there's nobody more supportive of gay rights than I am. But, it is somewhat concerning that Justice Gorsuch and Chief Justice Roberts went along with totally rewriting the Civil Rights Act. Now, the Civil Rights Act is not something from the 1800s where we had a radically different world from where we are now. In the 1960s, there were gay people and there were transgendered people, and Congress had every opportunity to put those protections in the legislation. They chose not to. Instead, we've allowed states like New York to pass their own Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act. Even though we might agree with the result, didn't the court go a little too far here in completely rewriting the law themselves? Shouldn't that have been up to Congress to provide these protections for gays, lesbians, and the transgendered?
No, we needed a court because people need to sue right away, because there's still people, unfortunately, discriminated against people based upon, age, race, and gender identity. So we needed something real fast, and Title VII allowed gays to go right into federal court and sue. And like I said, there is nothing wrong with it. This is a secular system, but they are still living in sin. And I just pray and hope that gays and lesbians will come.
We're going to have to leave it there.
You know what? You're too judgmental. All right, we got to leave it there. You got it in for the third time, so it made for good comedic cadence. But I understand, and we love you still, regardless of your views being far away from ours. But we love Teisha Powell, and we'll see you soon.
God bless you all. Take care.
We'll take a quick break, come back and kick off hour 2 right after this.